I'm Blessa. I'm 34 years old. I'm a registered nurse here in Australia, and I'm also a live seller.
Kumusta ug maayong adlaw kabayan? Welcome back to the Pinoy Expat. My name is Icon and I am your host. Dito sa Pinoy Expat, pag-uusapan natin ang iba't ibang aspeto ng buhay ng Pilipino sa ibang bansa. Ngayong araw kasama natin si Blessa, isang registered nurse at online live seller dito sa Australia. Samahan niyo ako at pakinggan natin ang kanyang kwento. Totoo ba na mas malaki na yung kinikita mo sa pagiging online live seller kesa sa pagiging nurse?
Actually, no, same lang sila. Siguro kung mag-concentrate ko as a live seller, because it's a business, if I will expand it, definitely, mas dako pa dyan siya sa pagiging registered nurse here in Australia. Pero ang advantage lang, Jod, sa pagiging live seller is I'm able to look after my son and makahimo ko sa ako ang live selling diri sa balay na without any pressure ba na adto ko work ingani dito.
So, how often nakakaroon na work as a registered nurse?
So karon 5 days a fortnight na lang. Used to be 6 days a fortnight, and then last year I had a reflection, and then anak ko ay murag the business is booming. So mao to nag-anak ko sa akong manager na I will take this opportunity ba na mag-reduce akong hours into 5 days a fortnight na lang.
And that's nice, kaya inana na option ba? Because you can explore other things outside of your usual work.
And I'm very grateful for this opportunity, no? Kay dili man tanan matagaan ni.
Can you give us a ballpark figure, if you don't mind, kung pila naman ang imuhang gina-earn karon sa pag-live selling and how much is that kung imong i-compare sa pagka-nurse nimo?
So, no, that's a very good question. Kay, di lang ko muhatag og kanang numbers, Jud. But definitely, I'm very comfortable sa ako ang income sa ako ang live selling. I can fund my own travel addiction and I can actually fund our family holiday. So, katong mga wala kaila sa ako gusto sila mag-stock kung pila, Jud, they can actually follow me on my social medias and then sila nalay bahala mo compute.
Ang dungog na ko, you were also able to buy your own car through your live selling. Is this true?
Yeah. So, cash out by the help of the live selling, pero grabe po ang mga sleepless nights.
Oh, okay. So
yes.
It doesn't come without sacrifices.
Yeah.
How did your journey from being a full-time nurse to becoming an entrepreneur start?
So, ang nahitabo man gud after giving birth, 5 months postpartum, I want to enjoy motherhood. That was after pandemic. I was taking my son out, and I have this very aesthetic kanang pram ba. But then, it's very heavy. Tapos, dili na ko kaya na ako lang. So, I was planning to buy a lightweight stroller. But because I'm on maternity leave, marag lisod kayo siya, no? Because I need to save money. Budgeted tanan ba? And we just move in here, na aming mortgage. My husband was doing dialysis. There are a lot of constriction, gani. And then, I saw one of my friends on Instagram, sa Instagram story niya, about live selling. And I was like, oh my God, I think I can do it. I used to do vlogging, but I think live selling is very different from vlogging. Live selling is like actual. You're being authentic. Wala na edit. So at first, I'm like, huy, kaya ba nako? Ni murag makulbaan, jud ko.
Was there a specific moment when you realized that your live selling income can replace your full-time work as a nurse na income?
Actually, yes. Sa tinuod lang, no? If I'm going to focus on my live selling, I can. But being a dialysis nurse, that's my calling. Live selling is my passion.
Right.
So, my husband was actually asking me way back then when I was starting live selling, you should choose one. Pero ana ako, dili ko makapili og isa ba kay kung biyaan ako ang pagiging nurse, that's a therapy for me. It's outside my house, our house, outside the chaos here. Na grabe mara na ba ni warehouse among balay. And then how I was able makastorya pa jud ko sa akong patient. It's like a therapy. It's a calling for me. But doing live selling, manggod, it's my passion. I love helping people unsaon ni pagiging confident again. The power of appearance is very important. So, kung papilion man ko, no, both gihapon siya.
So, it's like letting you choose between your left arm and left hand and your right hand.
Correct.
Nalisod, dili ka makapili. You need both.
Yes, I need it.
What was the general feeling when you started? Were you afraid? Were you excited? Anxious ba? What was it?
To be honest, at first, I was doubting myself kung kaya ba dyan ako siya. I'm not really kanang good at public speaking. I have this stage fright. And then, I was telling my friends, watch jud mo ha, kay kamura jud mo support na ako. And they were actually watching. Looking back sa ako, ang first live selling, akong team ko, ay, hello! Tapos, inga na ba, I was very nervous. At the same time, I was very excited. And I was very grateful kay ako ang husband. He's very supportive. Just imagine, I have 5 months old at that time too. Tapos eventually, baya, no na, marag, gaan na siya. Dili na siya marag pinugos gani. It was authentic na.
And so, murag daanad na ka, everything was just normal.
Yeah.
Sa'yo. Tell us about your early mistakes.
Every time I order stock from my suppliers, I get very overwhelmed. So, madaghan ako siyang order and I can't, like, there's a lot of supplies coming. Pero because I was starting pa, there's not lots of customers and the demand is still very slow ba. I started with women's clothing. As a mom, I wanted to expand to have like baby clothing too. So I actually opened up Bambino collection sa mga bata, sa mga babies, because I can just shop on my own shop, diba, for my son. But eventually, sige kong order, wala na ko napansin na daghan na kayo akong order. And it was like nagadaghan siya dire and the cash flow, maghiram na ko sa amo ang savings sa ako ang bana. And that was like for the first year. Right, there was like doubts na, am I doing it right? Or tama pa ba ni? Even now, ma-overwhelmed gihapon ko, but I need to step back. And then reflect, ay, tama day, no? Basi, nasobraan rapod kaayo. Overwhelmed rapod kaayo ko. So I need to take it slow.
If you could summarize in one sentence ang lesson na nakuha ni mo ato, what would it be?
So I guess you need to be mindful of your cash flow when it comes to your business. Dili lang pataka og order kay you think na ay ganahan ko ani mag-order ko, ay ganahan ko ani for myself or for other people. Pero ang dapat imong tan-awon is kung unsa tong ganahan sa mga tao. You don't focus on yourself, focus on the trend, on the demand of people around you.
So speaking about that, how do you then choose which products you actually sell online?
For me, I like to see the product itself. Na amay good mga hit and miss. It's really good in the photo, especially now with AI. They just edit it through AIs, and then pag abot day ni mo diri, the product, the item is actually not good. The good thing about live selling, mapakita na ko sa ilaha, and then they can directly ask me kung unsa to ang fabric sa items. And then if I see the item or the product, pangit iyahang quality. Of course, bisan mahal to akong kuha sa akong supplier, dili na ko patasaan ang presyo. Usahay di na gay na ko siya ibaligya because it's my brand. I want a return customer. I don't want just one off. So I do trial and error. Until now, I still do it. But I think now, kabalo na ko unsaon pag-gauge. So, kabalo na ko sa mga sizing, sa mga fabric na akong kwaon, and we have different seasons here. So, kabalo na ko na unsang products ang fit into that season.
So, unsa man ang imuhang sistema? You mentioned na lisod kung sa pictures ng tanawon because of AI and everything. So, what do you do? Do you order the products first or do you go to the supplier?
So, I order the products first so that they have, like, they will send photos. And then I will choose from that photos. Tricky lang siya usahay because of the AI is manggod. They will just edit it with like, you know, how kaayo pagka-flex sa mga models. But the thing is, when I receive it, sometimes dili daing ato ba ang fitting is not right and stuff like that. But because I want to deliver it to my customers, so I will find ways somehow na unsaon ni paggamit.
Murag kumbaga diskartehan na lang
Ang
nimo.
diskartehan na lang nako. Oo. And some other people will still like it. For me, some other items I don't like it, but they love it. So naay mga times na ingana. And then there are times na I really love it. Like, oh my God, I feel like so beautiful in this. But dili man pud siya mopatok. So dili na just ako. It's actually my customers, the people that will buy products from me. So that I learned that over time, dili lang na overnight or like 1 year na learn ako na siya for over 4 years na sige na ko og mauna akong routine ba. Oo.
So speaking about your customers, na kanang ang uban ganahan sila, ang uban dili. What is your secret when it comes to building a loyal customer base or loyal at least viewer base? Kay syempre lisod man pud mag live selling na walay mo tan-aw, no? So naa jud kay consistent na audience. And at the same time na naapod kay consistent na customers. What is your secret in building this, loyal community?
So, I think no sa ako, it's actually being authentic because I also show sa mga behind the scene and yung pagiging mom ko, that's a big factor. No one's perfect man, no? So, we make mistakes, especially sa live selling. Di ba kaka-edit kung mag-live selling ka, no? So, it's actually myself being authentic. I need to be engaging. Even though I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, I'm upset, gikan ko og kanang lalis akong anak, I need to be there. I need to show up. I think that's my secret. Being authentic and showing up to the people that actually believes in me.
That's very powerful word. Lalum kayo na siya. Showing up and being authentic. I think two of the things that we need right now kay late ang panahon ni Ron.
Especially with the AIs, no, take over na ta sa AI. So that's why watching live selling is actually keeping it real. Okay, you can see a real person. Kay karon maka-edit ra ba kag AI, no, nakasuot og ingani. But watching live selling, watching a real human flexing the clothes and tinuod jud na mao to imong mapalit, it's actually an advantage of watching live selling.
So, importante jud showing up and being authentic. Now, which is more important para nimo? Personality or product?
For me, personality. Don't get me wrong, product is very important. If you have a quality product, people will keep buying. You will have return customers. But then personality and how you deliver the product. I am the face of Blessa Bonita. I am the product of my own brand. So I guess ang mga tao, they keep returning because of my personality somehow. As a customer service, even how busy I am, I still reply to them. I'm very accommodating with my customers. And at the same time, as what I've mentioned, showing up to them even on those days na I don't feel like showing up. Kanang akong personality is I'm very bubbly. So in doing the live selling, kung paminghoy-minghoy lang ka and you're not there, the energy is not there, there's no engagement, mahawa na ang mga tao. They won't stay and then watch your live selling. But if you have energy that can connect to your viewers, to your customers, they will stay there. Most of them, they will last up to 3 hours just watching my live selling. Yeah.
3 hours?
3 hours. And a lot of them will buy like 6 to 8 items because of that.
Wow. Wait, okay ha. Let's talk about numbers very very quickly lang. What would be the average order value of customers na sa imuhang, let's say, isa ka session sa live selling, what would be the average order value of customers?
So, let's say every fortnight I do 2 live sellings. I will range between 300 to 350 orders just doing live selling.
And then ang average order value sa isa ka order mga usually pila man? 200, 300?
So depende magud na ako'y uban customers that one person will buy 8 items or one person will buy 3 to 10 items. And then they keep returning. I'm like, ma-amaze ko sa uban. I have 3 customers na every live selling, they're watching and they're buying and then they buy like 8 to 10 items for themselves.
Wow.
That's how, I don't know, maybe it's my personality. It's amazing.
Murag kaingon na kag budol queen.
As in, murag, okay. And then, what I've noticed as well, they buy the one that I'm flexing. Kung isuot na ko siya, like, gusto na ko na. The urgency is there. Pero kanang ipakita lang na ko siya, murag, it's like, it's a slow progress. Pero if I flex it, murag, there is the urgency of buying the item.
So, ganahan sila na kanang makita nila actually lang isuot na nimo. Okay. What are stressful parts of live selling that people don't see?
Stressful. Good question. Okay, if you watch me do live, it's like a very smooth sailing. Pero behind the scene, it's actually not as easy as that. They don't see the sleepless nights. Matulog ko tag 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Just packing, inventory, answering the customers, the time that I compromise for my family, especially sa akong son. That's one of the biggest thing that they don't see, even though I always show to them na I'm always there for my son. But actually having an online business, especially live selling, ang imuhang time is very constrained. You do everything. For instance, being a social media manager, inventory, accounting, everything, sorting and packing, all of that. And the whole week, it goes really quick like that. it's like a roller coaster ba, na they don't see it.
So you basically have to wear a lot of hats to
Correct.
keep the business going. You mentioned about, sacrificing your time na supposed to be for family. What's the biggest challenge when it comes to raising your toddler and running your online live selling business?
I think it's the time and to be present with him because my son is very attached to me. There are lots of times na mag-live selling ko and he will just come, "Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want you here." And it's very hard. Like you try to maintain the personality and the energy for your live selling, but at the same time you have your toddler coming and like getting you, "Mom, I want you." You know what I mean? And there was like a lot of times na makita sa mga tao ba, and I think it kind of like connect to the people. It's being authentic. I don't want to hide that. And I think it's a challenge, but it's an advantage because people can see that she's a mom, she's real. She has a toddler that wants her, but she's so empowered that she can still do live selling. Because there are lots of moms there that they don't know how to manage having a business at the same time raising a child. Thinking, mag-run kaya kong business or like padayon ba na ako ang business because I have a child. But yes, you can. It can be a challenge, but it can be a motivation for you to grow and to go back to yourself after having a child. So a challenge for me, but an advantage somehow.
Do you have any guilt na I'm supposed to be with my kid, I'm supposed to be doing this with him, but I'm doing live selling, I'm doing the business now? Do you have any feelings like that?
Yeah, mom guilt is real. Like just lately lang, no, I was messaging to my customer. My son wants to play with me. This age, manggod, is the time where he always wants to play with me. So I was there on my computer, on my phone, and he said, "Mommy, play with me, play with me." And I snapped because I was too busy. I was so stressed. I snapped. And then he hugged me. And he said that, "Mommy, why are you cranky? I just want to play with you." And then it hit me really hard. I'm doing this business for him. But then I can't even give the time that he needs, especially now. Karoon lang na time na he wants to play, but I couldn't give. And I built this business to watch him grow, but why I couldn't play with him? And then I hugged him. I said, "I'm sorry." And then I self-reflected, and I took time na i-play siya. But somehow, the time ba, it's a very hard job as a business owner and as a mom. And I'm trying my best, but then I'm just a human person. So I just keep on reminding to him, I'm doing this for you. Mommy is doing this here at home. Because every time I ask him to, what do you want? Do you want mommy to work at home or do you want mommy to work in the hospital? And he will always say, "I want you to work at home. I don't want you to work in the hospital. I want you here because I'll miss you." So it kind of like, oh, I'm still doing the right thing for him.
Do you ever imagine yourself in a position of, ako na lang i-give up ang business for to focus on my kid full time?
Actually, when I started this business, a very close friend of mine, she's also a business owner, she told me, "Sure jud ka na mag-business ka, you're gonna compromise a lot of your time sa imuhang bana, sa imuhang anak." And I said, "Oh, grabe ha pod, oy. Murag wala siya salig sa kuha." And then when I started the business, murag, oh my God, this is really hard. I thought of that, but somehow I said, if I'm going to go back to my full-time being a registered nurse, I won't be here for 5 days. And I won't be able to see him or to watch him grow. Childhood stage is very quick. Even though for me, I'm busy, I still want to see him grow and I still find time to spend time with him. Like ako ang Monday and Tuesday, I dedicate that to him. So na ay mga days na mag-playdate me, we go somewhere or like we go to Wollongong or anywhere, go for a swimming or whatever. And then I come home at 3 o'clock, set up, sort before live selling. And then that made me realize ba, if there's a will, there's a way. Makaya ra jud siya. Going back sa akong giingon, showing up is very important in doing this business.
But you have to remember to also show up for your kid.
Yes, sure. Mauna ang pinaka lisod. I self-reflected once. I want to expand and grow my business. But then I can't be a hero to other people if I can't be a hero to my own family. So taking it slow for as long as there's income there, I can be with my family. I think that's the most important thing.
Medyo heavy, no? Na-touch pod ko light. Going back, kung papipiliin ka, are you more of a nurse still or are you more of an entrepreneur now?
So for me, I'm more on entrepreneur. Siguro butang na to na pwede, unsok ko ka ng 100% entrepreneur tapos 50% nurse. So sobraan. Or that's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because for me, business is full-time, and then it's 24/7. So I am more on entrepreneur. So yeah, the answer is I'm more entrepreneur than a nurse.
So side quest na lang ang pagiging nurse.
Yeah, and that, as what I've mentioned, it's my therapy. I'm going to work not because it's my job to work, but it's my calling, and I go there to enjoy and go out of my chaotic life here.
Right, okay. So, pila ka gani days karon nag-work na lang as a nurse? Like 5 days a fortnight?
5 days a fortnight, yes.
Okay. Do you ever feel guilty na you're leaving it somehow 50% na lang ka na nurse?
Actually, dili man. Because I think if I'm going to exhaust myself, mubalik siguro ko more days pa. Like, for instance, I'll go back 8 days a fortnight instead of 5 days a fortnight. It's not a therapy for me. It will be a job for me. I won't make my patient happy na. Because I go there, everyone will say, oh, you're always happy. But I think if I'm too exhausted, I am not being the nurse na very bubbly that will make them happy. So I guess keeping the 5 days a fortnight helps with my mental health and the load that I'm doing right now.
So, giunsa man nimo pag-arrive sa 5 days? Gitry pod ba nimo na mag 3 days lang or 2 days a week lang or?
When I went back after my maternity leave, 6 days a fortnight na siya. I was doing alright. I was doing live selling every week. That was so exhausting. Our family was breaking somehow. I didn't have time for my husband. I'm there for my son, but mentally, emotionally, I wasn't there. Second year, I reassessed myself. Tama ba niya akong ginahimo? What was the lacking point of it? Ngano sige mig-away sa akong husband? Why I always snap? I think it wasn't my husband. I kept blaming him na, ikaw manggod ingana, but I didn't know na it was actually me. I kept snapping. I was sleep deprived, stress, and too much workload. Third year being in this business, self-reflected again, and I came up to this idea of like, oh, I'll reduce my hour. I'll try to have like 5 days a fortnight instead of 6 days a fortnight. I'll do live selling 2 times a fortnight. We'll do a content once a fortnight before doing live selling. It actually worked. I have more time for my family. I have plenty of time for my son. I can give myself more to him. And at the same time, there is a good momentum sa ako ang business. Kung pwede unta, 4 days a fortnight na lang ko mo-add to sa work. But the thing is, I love traveling, right? So I want to have an annual leave too. If we are traveling, the annual leave, I can use that. So there's not much pressure. So I can still enjoy and live my life.
So kung 5 days siya, at least you're building up your annual leave. Pero kung 4 days, murag kulang na siya.
Hinay ang pag-increase akong annual leave, yeah.
And then, right, if you're on a holiday, obviously you're not live selling. Wala kay
yes.
income. Okay, that makes sense. Some Filipino celebrities in the recent time, siguro 2-3 months ago, were ridiculed or made fun of online kay naga-online live selling lagi sila. What can you say to this?
I've actually watching a lot of live selling ng mga celebrities like Marielle and then I think the wife of Aljun, I think. I think, this is a job that you need to be proud of. We are putting a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifices to be in this industry. If you're working 9 to 5 in your job, we are working 24/7. And I guess those people na they think na, oh, nag-live selling, so wala ay kwarta or whatever. Daghan kaig mga yapi-yapi nga na. I think you should look at them like, oh my God, I'm so proud of them by doing that, but showing up to the people na they can do it. Because it's not easy. Like, not everyone are comfortable being in the camera and showing and flexing their body in front of the people that they don't know. So yeah, I think they shouldn't be, and they should be proud of those people doing it.
Having said that, if someone asked you, nganong ga-live selling man ka na, nurse man ka, what would you say to them?
Actually, good question, no? When I started my live selling, we went back home in Philippines. My brother actually asked me this, "Ngano kang mag-live selling? Uy, na-nurse man ka sa Australia. Nga kay ka sa Australia para mag-registered nurse, and you've gone through a lot of sacrifices para maging registered nurse, and isn't it not enough? Ang sahod ba daw?" So I said, yeah, ang live selling, it's a passion for me, and I choose this path not for myself. It's actually for my family, for my son. So if not because of my son, I wouldn't do it. Because I think when you become a parent, you need to find something na malet go nimo but somehow can sustain the life of your children or your child. So by doing this live selling, I can watch him grow. My time is very flexible. There's no pressure from the management or like from the people you need to go to work or otherwise you're gonna get stuck or whatever. So in doing this, I have my own time. I am the boss. So anak ko kay kuya, I'm very happy na gihimo na ko nino, and I chose this path. It might not be easy for me, but the fulfillment that I get from it, it's beyond success na full-time registered nurse ko sa Australia.
What if there was another option for you rather than live selling? Let's say a traditional business. So the same thing, you work 5 days a fortnight as a nurse and then you do this other business on your other times. Would you choose that over live selling, or would you still choose live selling?
I will still choose live selling.
Why?
For me, live selling, I can work on my own time. I don't need to go to, for instance, like the traditional shop or retail shop. A lot of people have suggested, why don't you have your own shop? Like your business is booming. Why don't you have it? Firstly, I will have not enough time with my son because I need to be there. It's like going to work because I need to office, yeah. And then there's a pressure of paying rent, and I don't want that pressure. I want to enjoy what I'm doing because it's my passion. So I will still and I will always choose live selling.
Your husband is an Australian. Is it harder or easier na yung partner mo hindi Filipino when it comes to, business, cultural differences, when it comes to business and like that?
For me, it's not harder. I'm just very lucky that he's very supportive. Actually, he's better at selling stuff. He's better at selling stuff than me. He used to be a salesperson sa Mercedes, so he's got that background. And because of his support, I think people will watch me somehow because I'm like, oh, that's very unusual. Like a non-Filipino background will like do live selling with her. So it kind of like attract people to watch and then get curious. And then somehow he will come and join the live and then do sales. So it was an advantage for me.
Do you have any cultural misunderstandings when it comes to running the business? Kaya obviously, siya being an Australian, lahi ang mindset, same mo hapod, lahi, or are you guys the same wavelength, or how does it work?
There are misunderstandings. Of course, we have different culture backgrounds, no? And the way I run the business is very different from his mindset. Because with me, I keep it affordable, like Chinese style ba.
Okay.
So with him, he always suggests, no, why don't you increase your price? So that less effort for you to sell? But I said, babe, I want return customers. And it hit him and like, yeah, that's right. And with that, I think communication is very important. He's very understanding and he's very supportive, as what I've mentioned.
Last question, what would be your number one advice to anyone who is doing live selling but they're struggling?
Show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for your business because you work hard for your business to build that business. And show up for the people that believe in you, your customers. But then, if that's not enough, take a step back, have a breather. Because, ideas will come when you're in a relaxed phase, your mental health is in peace, and then reassess. Is it worth it or not? Is it affecting my family? Is it still worth it na I'm doing a lot of effort? Maybe you can ask for help. If you see a potential that you know that it will grow, a potential na, oh, kaya pa man ako, go for it. Never give up. And this is, I think, the number one advice as well that I can give is surrender everything to God and the rest will follow.
Very heavy advice. Thank you so much. I think that's all coming from experience. Yeah. Well, that's it for now, guys. Blessa, live seller and nurse dito sa Australia, proprietor of Blessa Bonita. Abangan niyo yung live selling.
Yes. I'll see you there sa Blessa Bonita.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Blessa, for your time.
Thank you, Icon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing me to share your story sa audience.
Thank you. And hopefully my story will inspire people and especially those moms na need this motivation and inspiration.
Yes. So that's it, guys. This has been another wonderful episode of the Pinoy Expat. If you want more videos like this, make sure to follow and subscribe us on our YouTube channel and me on TikTok. Once again, my name is Icon and you're watching the Pinoy Expat. See ya!